lot of stories about your days as a young boy on campus. I won't tell all of those now because I've heard some that Jeff didn't tell me either that others have told me, but we'll save those for another day. That's right. But I know that your father served here, Art Lanham served here a number of years in athletics as well, in coaching and athletic directing work.
He was here for 20 years, from 60 to 80, and was the athletic director, men's basketball coach. I think he coached track one year, tennis a year, baseball a year, golf some, and he kind of became one in all.
Right.
Is what happened during that time. So.
Well, I know he's a legend, and I think that you know, that family affair that was started with him and with you growing up in these, you know, and these were your stomping grounds. It's been a family affair beyond that for you too. I think it's taken on a whole new meaning with your wife, Mary Lou, and you know, I see her everywhere. And I know that love that you have for Rio and the athletic programs, that somehow either by force or what I hope is just by naturally that she wants to help out with that.
And she does. She is, you know, during the winter months, she does a lot of the home books for men's and women's basketball, and then she's always involved in any way that she can to help, and it's been fantastic. And as I said earlier, this is a celebration for us. This is our 27th wedding anniversary today.
Congratulations.
So it was 27 years ago that we were married today.
Great.
Along with the family part of that, I have a daughter that's currently in school, and I have an older daughter who is an alum. So
great.
So it has been kind of a family affair.
Has. And it's been fun to watch Maddie this year, your younger daughter, and she. Her work on the softball team, but Maddie was also one of our star students here and had the opportunity to go to Wales and study abroad.
Probably a life-changing time for her. It really was. And everybody said they'll come back and be grown up, so I think she did grow up a lot when she did
really
that.
Good.
She's ready to go back.
Wow, and I know she's a member of that. We'll talk about this in the second segment of our show today, but I know you'll get to talk about the softball team, but
right.
She's a member of that KIAC championship softball team.
Right, who's still playing right now.
Yeah, it's still in much related to athletics is still very much in progress. So with Maddie and with Mary Lou and with Jeff, and I'm just wondering, do you have pets or anything like that you somehow, you know, work for Rio? I'm just trying to figure out.
We have 2 cats at home, and they're all about themselves.
They're useless for
yeah,
Rio.
they're not gonna.
Well, Jeff, your leadership and your integrity and the pride that you have for Rio, it's one of those things that I've found since I've been here for the last 6 months. It's just been contagious, and I have a lot of respect for what you do and how you operate your programs, and I think it's contagious to your coaches, to the entire staff, from trainers to SID to our student athletes, right. Everybody associated with it, and I really appreciate that. Could you talk to us a little bit about the inaugural event that we had on April the 26th with the Champions of Character banquet?
Sure. We have a group of, each team nominates 1, 2, or 3 athletes to be involved with a committee dealing with Champions of Character. And our liaison with that is our head men's basketball coach, Ken French, and he runs this committee. One of their items they wanted to do this year was start a celebration about Champions of Character. So we did this, like you said, on April 26th. Was our first time that we've ever done it. Every program came up. We had all of our athletes in the cafeteria. We had it was a Sunday fest, so we could go in and make your own sundaes, and you got to eat with a little bit of that and some good punch and coffee and whatever it was.
And it was on a Sunday.
And it was on a Sunday. That's right. It worked out.
Yeah.
Each team nominated a Champions of Character individual. And then each coach also came up and talked about the awards that each team had throughout the year, except for baseball was the only one who hadn't had their all-conference at that time. Everybody else had those kind of awards presented. So we named all of those and gave out the champions of character, and we also gave out the first time graduation sash for our seniors. So I think that all of that together was a wonderful evening, and it just I think it's going to be something that we're going to expand on next year, and students loved it, and it was a dress-up affair. It was not no shorts or sweats.
No.
They wanted it to be something that they wanted to remember, and I think it turned out that way. We're very, very excited how that went.
I think that's awesome. I'd love to see the families be able to come, and I know that I think we may have to build a new building.
We got to get a bigger boat. That's Jaws.
In order to do that, that's right. Well, I want to move to kind of the second segment of our show today, but I want to do a shameless plug that is tradition for us on this show, at least when I'm here once a month, and that is to make sure that people realize what we have in our bookstore here. I think it's so important for campus pride and for support of the institution, for all of us who are part of the Rio family to really support by showing our support. And so you wear a lot of Rio things.
Right,
I think.
right.
Do you have anything else in your wardrobe?
I don't. My wife, Mary Lou, asks that a lot. She says you need other things. But
Yeah.
it's an amazing, though, that if we're traveling across the country, how many times that people will come up to us in the airport and say, that Rio, I know about that. You know? And it's really fun to see all that.
And then for those people who don't know about us, I suspect that there are a lot of people that see it and start digging a little bit, those curious types. So I wanted to share a few things. Last show I shared a new mug that we had in the bookstore, and it was a stainless one, but this one is ceramic. And I thought it was really neat too, and because I'm a big coffee drinker, I keep my eye on those things and make sure that I have the newest. So that's really cool. We also have these new sticky memo cubes, which I thought were really neat too, because I use those a lot, and I think it's really neat having that logo. And Jeff, I remember the day that you talked to me about this storm logo, and I never can look at it any differently now.
Oh, I can't do that. It's right behind us, right here.
Yeah.
If anybody can see that, the O is the R and the G. So you see a lowercase r and a lowercase g. There's the R, and then the G is right here below it.
That's awesome. I mean, it just looks so cool in and of itself, but then when you showed me that, I just thought, how neat is that? So we've got a lot of neat things I wanted to show. I mean, this is a very popular color this year. I don't know how it's showing up, but it actually is green, but I'm not sure if that's coming across very well. But this is a really neat shirt, and there are just a lot of things like that if you want something that's trendy, and that you can at least know that there are options there. So I think that's really neat. So I'll show some other things. Can't show it all today, but I just wanted people to know that. And if you can't get to campus, which I hope you can, but if you can't get to campus or you're not on campus, you can go to bookstore.rio.edu or go to redstormgear.com and you can order things online. So we hope you'll do that and really spread the news through what you wear and what you have related to Rio. So let's move into a very important part of our session today, and that's to talk about our teams, the many successes. And I'm going to let you just take it away, but I want to tell you that yesterday I was in Indiana. I was at one of our conference sites, Indiana University East, and we were there as a group of presidents from all of the institutions that are in the part of our athletic conference, the KIAC. And it just seemed like every few minutes in that meeting that went on for a number of hours, that Rio Grande kept coming up. I can guarantee you that we came up more than any other institution. I think that we're a real leader in the conference, and people look to us to set the bar in terms of success. And the reason we kept coming up were all the successes that our students have had on the field, on the court, on the roads, and off. So can you talk to us a little bit about the teams?
Sure, and maybe this is our first year in the KIAC, Kentucky Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, which is going to have a name change coming up. It hasn't been announced, but there's going to be a name change because we now have, starting next year, we will have 5 states of teams. So we'll be teams in Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania.
Wow.
It sounds like a lot,
Yeah.
but we'll be up to 13 teams
That's
next
great.
year. And we have had a lot of success. We were excited about changing and coming into this league. We felt like that it fit a lot of things that Rio was involved in, and we've had success. Just wanted to kind of go down by sport. Each season in the fall, start off with our volleyball team finished 6th. They were picked 6th, and a lot of times that doesn't happen that way. But I think in talking with the coaches that they feel good about 2015 and 16. They've seen everyone, and now they've become more familiar with what's going on. So I think that's a good step for them. Then we move on in the fall sports in our women's soccer, who were 13-0 in the league. They won our league, and they won the tournament as well, which they were an automatic qualifier to the national tournament, which is first time in school's history that this has happened. They were very excited about what was going on, and Cal did a fantastic job with them this year. Our men's soccer finished. They won the tournament. They lost a game in the conference to Point Park, but they won the tournament, made the qualifying to go to the national tournament, was number 1 in the nation, and got upset in the round of 16 at the national tournament. So I think they're grinding pretty good about wanting to get back into that, show up again for next year. Men's and women's cross country. Our cross country team finished 3rd in the cross country meet. Our men's team won the meet, which means that the team advanced again to a national tournament. So in that, we had 3 teams that advanced, which was very good success. Moving into our winter sports, our men's basketball team finished 3rd in the conference. They were 19-12 with a record. Got beat in the quarterfinals of the tournament. They have 2 returning all-tournament selections, first team, so they will be ready to go again next year. Our women's basketball team had a fantastic year. They at one point won 16 in a row games, which set a new record at Rio. I think they finished 25-12. It was they were 13-1 in the league. Lost the first league game and then swept the rest of the way out. They also won their conference. We won the conference. They did not win the tournament, but they advanced because of winning the conference. So they made it to the national tournament first time since 2008, I think was the last time that they went.
Great.
We had indoor track and field who sent 3 men and 2 women to the nationals. And the track team I'm going to talk about here in just a second, but our track team is just, they've exploded. We're well over 100 people, and it is pretty exciting to watch them work and to see the success that they have had. Moving into the springtime, and I guess I can talk about track and field, where we have both teams won the conference meet. Both teams scored 315 points. If you know anything about track, that's almost unheard of to score over 300 points. The men won by over 200 points, and the women won by over 100 points. And they've got about 12 people that have qualified for the nationals, and that's an individual. That's not as a team, which means they've met a standard at some point. So it's an exciting time for them. They're still on campus, along with baseball and softball. Softball finished third in the conference, regular season. They're 31-14 right now, and they won the tournament, which made them an automatic qualifier for the national tournament. We were talking about this before the show. It's a little anxiety about where we play. We don't know where we play.
But we play next week.
We play on Monday, yes.
Wow.
The tournament is the 11th, 12th, and 13th. We will know Thursday night. So tomorrow night is when they will make the announcement about where we will play and who we will play. So we'll wait to see what's going on with that. And then our baseball team finished second in the conference. They won the tournament, upset Point Park, who was number 25 in the country. They go on to win the tournament. They now have qualified for the Nationals. And we'll find out Friday night where they go, and they start play on Tuesday. So they're Tuesday through Friday.
Well,
next week.
I have to jump in on that one because, I'm far from very good at throwing a ball. I just, it's not my forte. But Coach Warnemont, he contacted me and he said, that we were talking about the great time they're having right now, and he said that it all started when I threw out the first pitch. That since then they've really been on a roll and have been undefeated.
So we need to find out when they leave, so you can
Right.
kind of throw that first pitch to them as they leave to go to their tournament.
That
right?
sounds good. That sounds really good. I had nothing to do with it, but hey, I'll take it. But so, are there any other bases we haven't covered as far as the sports and how things are going right now as far as our teams?
I think we've got everything going right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're the teens. If I can talk
Yeah.
briefly about, we're kind of in the recruiting mode for next year right now.
Right.
Everybody's trying to fill rosters, and
Mm-hmm.
we've had a couple athletic visitation days this year. I know that tomorrow men's basketball's got 15 people coming in for a workout.
Good.
Women's basketball's had a workout. Baseball and softball, they're trying to recruit, but they're also playing.
They're busy.
And that's the kind of the difficult thing about
Right.
what's going on with this. So
Right.
it's going to be August before we know it, and it's going to be ready to start that 15-16 season.
That's right. Well, I believe that there are good things in store next year, and I don't know what is in the water related to athletics, but let's keep it in there because things are going really well. Because it's not just that our students are doing well in their programs and that our teams are so successful. That's great. It's the character that you talked about, the development of that character, and that these students are student athletes. And that's, I think, one of the great things about the NAIA and the principles that we have as part of the NAIA.
It is, and we actually, before you were part of our Rio family, I had a number of institutions contact us about the possibility of moving to Division II, NCAA Division II, and many Ohio schools have done that. And we had meetings with our coaches and administration, and we really felt like that the NAIA that fit what we were about.
That's good.
And I think that is part of what makes us feel good about
Right.
being able to participate in this, and being able to be an impact, and being able to be a part. And I think that's something that our student athletes are going to take with them forever.
That's right.
We can't take that
That's
away
right.
from them. So.
No, I think there are, two things that we wanted to make sure we focused on today too is that, the diversity of the students in our programs. We have students that are, that are participating in our programs that grew up a couple of miles from the campus, and then we have those that grew up thousands of miles from the campus.
Right, and we do, and probably our biggest sport with foreign players would be our men's soccer. And they have players from Brazil and Peru and England and Spain. They're all over the world. And Coach Morrissey and Coach Daniels have done a fantastic job of bringing that group in. And it's really unique to see that group expand and go out in southeastern Ohio.
Yeah.
Many people never will have an opportunity to talk with someone
Right.
from Brazil.
That's true. That's true.
You know, on top of that, we've got our baseball team has got a lot of Spanish speaking. We have a lot of Puerto Rican players. We do have some players from South America as well. So we've got a good mixture, I think
that's
of
great.
what's happening with that.
And those students are in our classes. They are in groups with other students who, like you said,
Right.
may not have had the opportunity to experience some of those other cultures, but they are experiencing it through these students and sharing. It's really nice. I was driving into campus on Bevo Francis Drive this afternoon, and just seeing the flags from the international flags
Right,
from other
right.
countries, and a lot of those represent the countries where some of our
Right.
students come from. So I think that's really
Not only students, we have a coach.
that's
Yulia,
right.
our track and field assistant, she is from Russia and she's still competing in
Yeah.
high jump. So
great.
one of those athletes that's going on to the nationals is one of her high jumpers. Well, both are men and women.
That's
So we've
great.
got one on each side. So.
She developed a recruiting video that she
Yeah.
has used on YouTube and used
Right.
on some other venues that I think was really powerful, because she developed it, and that's really her marketing work and
Right.
thing. That's her thing. That's her baby. And she wanted to find a way, thinking about where she is as an international student, to make sure that potential students are seeing the possibilities
Right.
as they're coming from other countries. So I thought she did a great job with that. Another thing that we wanted to talk about was the academic success of our programs, and I think we have a graphic that we can pull up, hopefully, to display some of this. But I think that that's something that, going back to NAIA and what
Right.
you and the coaches and the support, the faculty, the academic support groups really emphasize that we want our students to be successful.
It is, and you were talking about Yulia. She has caught on to what I think is our coaches have a passion, and I always describe them of having a passion, and that passion goes all the way through, not just to win a contest, but
Right.
to see the success on both ends of that,
Right.
from the athletic end of that and from the academic side of that. And there's not one person over there in Line Center that doesn't, and I think it breeds. You said it really good. It does breed, and and I think Yulia's one and a great example of that. She hasn't been here a year,
Right.
and she already has that passion about Rio. I mean, that took a lot of time and effort
Oh,
to do.
absolutely.
And that's really what it's talking about. And
Yeah.
this success that we've had with the academics, I think, is part of that. I think that you can see on the screen, we went through and just really took all of our teams and put it out there. And what have we got? 21 student athletes with a 4.0 GPA, which
Congratulations.
is fantastic.
That's great.
Women's cross country, the highest GPA. Men's basketball is on the men's side. We have 7 teams that have a 3.0 or better, and over 80 students now that are on the dean's list. And I think that we have this hanging in Line Center. It's almost the first thing you see when you walk into the building.
That's
we
very
want you
fitting.
to see that. And
Right.
we want to publicize that, and
Right.
I think that's really shows that it's important to us.
It does, and I mean, when you go into the Line Center, and if you haven't been in there lately, just encourage you to walk in, and there are trophies and accolades for all of the successes that, I mean, it's a real rich history of success in athletics here. But the other thing that you see is that
Right.
poster, and you
Right.
say, this is a trophy in and of itself. And I think that that's huge.
It is. We're in the process right now of combining after this semester. So
Okay.
we'll see
Good.
where we go. Maybe next fall we'll
Good.
talk about it.
Yeah, let's do, because I'd like to make sure that we have this chance every year to through this program, talk about the successes. And it's as you say in sports, it's always a team effort.
Right.
And it's a team effort not only with your coaches and what they're doing, and all of the staff that you have in athletics, but it's the work that is happening with the faculty, with advisors. It's an
Right,
all hands
right.
on deck approach to what we do with our students.
I
So-
always tell people who come, I said, you'll hear this word many times, and it's the word called family. And it is. It's special to be a part of the Rio family.
I agree. Well, thank you for joining us today, Jeff. It's
welcome.
been great. I wish the teams that are still going on, wish them the best as they continue their seasons, and we'll watch carefully there, and look forward to new seasons coming up next year.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we wanted to close by encouraging you and putting a teaser out for some of the programs that we have coming up for next week. We have some visitors that will be here from the State of Ohio Treasury, so that will be probably a very enlightening conversation. Mike Thompson and Valerie Thomas, in their program called Exposition, they will have Envy Ink Tattoo here. I think that will be also equally enlightening and interesting as you think about that art form or art forms related there. And then Dr. Richard Sachs, our provost here at the university and the college, he will be here as part of the Voice of Rio program. I'm not sure what is on his agenda yet, but that will be the kind of the cliffhanger.
Always be interesting. It'll
That's
always
right.
be interesting.
Just wait and see. You never know what it will be. So with that, we will thank you for your time today and spending a little bit of time learning more about athletics and what we have to offer, and really getting behind these programs. What we look for next year is to see the spirit in attendance and excitement around these programs really being something that we can build on. So really look forward to doing that. But again, thanks for being here, Jeff, and take care.
Thank you.